People ask me all the time about how can you create an opportunity for someone who lives with dementia in a person-directed environment, because people say that people who live with dementia can't actually make decisions, and yet they make decisions all the time. They make decisions not to eat. They make decisions to walk around, and sometimes they make a decision, to kind of give you a nice punch when you're trying to wake them up and they're not ready to get up, actually. And so when we think about that person-directed environment for someone who lives with dementia, we want to respond to them and what decisions they're making and create opportunities where they can make decisions. In order to do that, we need to approach that person as if they're an adult and they still are thinking and feeling and being just like we are as an adult. And we also create that environment where they can be safe and we can respond. We have some different responses to them. So hands-on caregivers, people that really know people who live with dementia, they're helping them make decisions all the time. And when we say resident direction, even for people who live with dementia, it can happen. In fact, it may be even, they may be more sensitive to how that environment is creating that opportunity for them to direct their daily life or their daily action, even if it's to get up and engage with something or to talk to someone or carry a piece of paper and put it down someplace else because they're organizing or doing something. So that I get the question a lot of times, oh, culture change isn't really for people who live with dementia. It's just for people that can walk and talk and make decisions. But we're experts in all of our environments about how do we serve those people who live with dementia so that they experience life like an adult. And what can we do? Yes, we have to behave a little differently. We have to really listen and watch and interpret and investigate why they're behaving in certain ways and create an environment that gives them opportunities to be and continue being, especially in an adult situation. They may be acting like children in terms of the decisions they're unable to make, but they're not children. And our job is to really find the way to meet them as an adult and treat them as an adult and interact with them as an adult. An example is the other day I was working with a group of people and we were talking in a group, in a living room with staff and people who live with dementia. And one of the staff people kept talking about Ruth and about Helen, but not looking to Helen and saying, Helen, your family does this. It was real simple for someone to just talk about you as if I was saying, oh, Pat does this, he does that, but not saying to you, what do you do? And just that simple change or shift in how we interact by including that person, because especially people who live with dementia, they're highly sensitive to kind of the emotional environment. And it's emotional when one of us is ignored, when we feel like we're not being spoken with, but spoken about or spoken to. Most adult interactions we speak with. We wait for interaction. We pause. There's certain kind of eloquence in the way we interact with each other. And sometimes we just, for some reason, forget that with people who live with dementia. So when we want to create those environments for people who live with dementia in a culture change environment, and we're calling it resident directed, of course, always it can be with people who live with dementia, as well as with anyone else who lives in our environment.